Over the last decade, the growing number of countries moving towards drug decriminalisation has been hailed as a politically transformative moment. But is anyone listening to what people who use drugs think of these policies? Addressing the questions and concerns that people who use drugs have on decriminalisation is critical. Without taking into consideration whether the needs of people most impacted by drug policies are being addressed, it is impossible to claim these policy changes are truly politically transformative. To disrupt the narrative that decriminalisation unquestionably represents progress, the International Network of People Who Use Drugs embarked on a peer-driven research project analysing the outcomes of decriminalisation models. Our report, Drug Decriminalisation, Progress or Political Red Herring, draws on qualitative interviews with peers in countries that claim to have decriminalised drug use and seeks to reset the bar by which the international community defines progress on drug policy. Our research identified 6 key areas where decriminalisation impacts the lives of people who use drugs. Policing, detention, and other sanctions. Decriminalisation should eliminate the need to police the lives of people who use drugs. While some peers reported improvement in police interactions, the presence of administrative sanctions enforced by police undermines this goal. Fines for violating low threshold limits can be so steep that they can lead to incarceration even without criminal sanctions. Stigma and discrimination. Peers agree stigma and discrimination against people who use drugs has somewhat decreased post-decriminalisation. However, many remain concerned whether negative attitudes have changed or merely shifted from labelling people who use drugs as criminals to labelling them as sick people needing help. Surveillance and privacy. Peers report increased monitoring and surveillance of people who use drugs after decriminalisation. In some countries, the use of urine drug testing by police has increased, while positive drug tests are used to deny people who use drugs employment, promotions, or salary increases. Access to health and social care. Decriminalisation should be a catalyst for improving access to health services, but results have been mixed. Where there has been improvement, it has been marginal to other policy changes. There continue to be serious concerns about compulsory treatment and drug detention, even after decriminalisation. Meaningful involvement. Decisions regarding decriminalisation are generally made without the participation or knowledge of people who use drugs. Even when there is consultation, recommendations are not always taken seriously. This indicates we are not being valued when it comes to decriminalisation, despite being most affected by these policies. INPUD's research shows decriminalisation measures have not consistently led to better outcomes. This is because existing models continue to interfere in the lives of people who use drugs through sanctions and surveillance. Based on these conclusions, INPUD have developed 5 key recommendations on decriminalisation. 1. All models of decriminalisation must fully decriminalise people who use drugs by removing all sanctions and arbitrary threshold amounts. 2. People who use drugs must be involved in all stages of the reform process. 3. Full decriminalisation must include strategies and funding to end stigma and discrimination. 4. Full decriminalisation must include expansion of access to harm reduction and social services relevant to local needs. 5. Full decriminalisation must be viewed as a first step towards a full legal regulation of all drugs. People who use drugs must be heard on decriminalisation. Without our input, decriminalisation is yet another hollow policy change which impedes real progress. We hope this new perspective on full decriminalisation without sanctions will support advocacy efforts towards drug policies which fully recognise the human dignity of all.